Hi everybody. I just wanted to make a little video about how I made the welcome sign that we're going to cut with the roll feeder in the software. So this is the Brother Canvas Workspace software that's on your computer. So in order to use the roll feeder function, you have to use that version of the software. So this one is downloaded to my computer. Make sure that you have it updated and also your machine updated so that everything is going to talk well and transfer well together. So I just updated this a day or so ago, and this is my Brother Canvas Workspace. So I'm going to go ahead and double click on this, and we're going to make a little welcome sign. So the first thing I have to do is log in when I get into the software. So I'm going to log in just as if I were on my browser, and hopefully I can type my password correctly. Okay, so I am logging into the software, and it will bring up my workspace. The first thing it does is brings up the Canvas project pattern collection screen. So that's similar to the online version as well. I don't need to use any of this for this particular project, so I'm just going to go ahead and click this closed. And then it brings up my normal workspace on my screen. So the first thing I want to do is I need to tell the software what type of mat that I'm going to use. So right now it defaults to the 12 by 12 mat, and I know I'm going to be using the roll feeder because I'd like to make my sign long enough so that I will use my roll feeder. So I have to go over here to on the right hand side and tell the software what type of mat I'm going to use. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the last icon, which is the artboard. I'm going to click on artboard. And this is where I can choose the size of my mat. So instead of 12 by 12, I'm going to choose the rolled material. So we'll choose rolled material. And then it looks quite a lot different on the screen now. It defaults at a 36-inch screen or a 36-inch like mat area. I don't really want mine to be that big, so I'm going to go ahead where it says 36 inches here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to type in 24 so that I'm going to make it about the length that I want it to be, and I'm going to click the tab key on my computer, and then it makes it the little art area smaller, as you can see. I would also like it to be, instead of portrait, the direction says portrait right now, I'm actually going to choose landscape so that it will, so I can type my word and have it look correct on the screen to me. When you go ahead to do the cutting, it's actually going to flip it over to the portrait orientation again, so when it cuts that way. But this way I can see my word when I'm typing it so that it looks correct on the screen for me. Okay. So I've got my landscape, I've got my 24-inch area that I'm going to work with. Now what I want to do is I'm just going to do some lettering. I just want to make a welcome sign. So I'm going to go over here to my, on the left-hand side here, where the letter T is, and that is the text tool. So I'm going to click on the letter T, and that's going to open up some extra things up here on the screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose a font. So the first fonts that are in this list are going to be the fonts that are kind of the default fonts that are in the machine and also on the online version of the software. So there's about 20 fonts or so. But the rest of them, if you start scrolling down, you can see I have a lot of other fonts. And these are all the fonts that are in your font folder on your computer, so you can use all of these as well. So my font list is going to look different than yours because you have different fonts on your computer. There's one font that I really like to use when I do kind of a script type font, and this will make a really pretty sign. I like to use the font, I got to find it here. It's called Brand Bold Fett, and so it makes a really nice script letter. And so I think I'm going to choose that one. So I've got Brand Bold Fett. That's a font that I got from a place called Dafont, DAFONT.com. These are free fonts. You can go download them and install them onto your computer so you can have more fonts. There's just tons of fonts up there, and there's so many pretty ones to make everything very, very customized. Okay, so we're going to choose Brand Bold Fett for my font, and so it changed it up here. Regular should be fine for the text style. I'm just going to go down into my work area, and I'm going to click on the screen. It's going to bring a little cursor up, and I'm just going to type the word welcome. with I put a capital W, okay? And then I'm going to click off on the white here to finish it. Then I get my selection boxes around the word welcome. So I can change the size of it. I can rotate it if I want, but I think I just want to leave it the orientation it is, but I do want to make it bigger. So I'm going to grab one of the corner boxes and I'm going to pull it out bigger. I'd like it to be about the length of the area, whoops, that I'm in there, deselected it. I'm going to bring it out so that it's about the size of my little area here. I think that'd be good. It's a little bit narrower, but that's fine. Let's pull it up and towards the center of the area. And the other thing I would like it to be taller. So I'm going to elongate it a little bit and bring it up so that it fills most of that area. And so you can see that it's elongating the letters a little bit, but I think that looks really pretty for a welcome sign. Okay. But there's one thing that I'm noticing when I'm looking at the letters, that the letters are all individual letters. So if I zoom in, I'm going to go up here to the top and get my little zoom tool. And if I zoom in to where like the E and the L and the C combine, you'll see that these go up into each other. And that means that what's going to happen is that's going to cut. And I don't want that the little tail of the E to cut into my L and the L to cut into my C. I would like that to be all connected together in one piece and look beautiful and connected together. So I need to do something to these to make them connected instead of into individual letters like they are. So let's go ahead and make this a little smaller so you can see the whole letter or the whole word. And then I'm going to make this, there we go. I'm going to have it selected. And so now I need to go over and do some editing to this. So I'm going to go over here on the right again, and the second icon down is the edit icon. And if I scroll down on the right and get down to where it says process overlap and shapes, what I'm looking for is I want this to be welded. So the first icon is weld. So I'm going to click on that with it selected. And now if you look closely, you can see that all of my letters are now beautifully connected together so that they just flow one into the next. And that's the way I would like my sign to be. The W is not connected to the E, but that is the way I want it. But the rest of the letters are all connected together. So I think that looks really nice. I like that much better. And that was a real simple fix. Okay. So now I think I'm happy with that. I think that'll cut out nicely, and it'll be about, it's not quite 24 inches long, but it's close, and I think I'll like that size. So at this point, I need to save my design. So to do that, I'm going to go up here and get my selection tool again, and I'll go up to File and Save As. And on this program, there is a native format. I'm going to type in the file name of welcome. And then the native format of this program is CWPRJ, and what that means is it is a working file. So you definitely want to always save in that file so that you can go back to it later if you need to make alterations to it, because that's the file that you'll be able to do the most with. So I'm going to go ahead and save that on my desktop. And I had already gotten it there, so I just said replace it. And I have saved then that working file so that I can go back to it later if I need to fix something. I also want to save it as an FCM because FCM is what the machine reads. So I need to also save it as that. But if I go to File, Save As, it doesn't allow me to choose the FCM format. Well, I need to do something different then for that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to File and Export Transfer FCM file. So in other words, I am going to export it as an FCM file. And that is the file that the machine will read when we go to cut it. So I'm going to click the Export FCM file. I'm going to save it as the file name of welcome and save as type FCM. So see, now it's an FCM. That's the only option there, and that is the machine file, and I'm going to go ahead and save that on my desktop as well. I also had it there, so I'll just tell it to replace it like that. So now I have that, the FCM and the working file both saved for future use if I need to use them. But we also need to get this design to the machine. So in order to do that, I want to do that. You can do it a couple of different ways. I could just take that FCM file that I made and saved on my desktop and put it onto a USB stick and put that into my machine. But my machine is wireless, so I can actually send this directly from my software to my machine. So I'm going to go ahead to File again. I'm going to export transfer FCM file. So in other words, I'm going to transfer it this time. And I can transfer it either via the internet, which because my computer is hooked up wirelessly to my software, or I can also transfer it with a USB cable. So if you have a USB cord attached to your machine, to your computer, you can also send it that way. But I'm going to go ahead and transfer the FCM file via the internet. And then it will come up and say that the registered machine is ready to download the transfer file from the internet. So now the file is sitting on my machine ready for me to cut it. So I just wanted to make this little video about how I made this welcome sign in the software. It's very simple, and the software is actually pretty user-friendly. I'm getting more used to it. I was used to the online version, and so a lot of the projects now, or a lot of the techniques now, have to be done in this software because they have added things like the roll feeder that can only be accessed through this on the computer version of Workspace, so Canvas Workspace. So I just wanted to make this little video for you to show you how I did the welcome, and then if you have any questions about it, give me a call or message me through Facebook, and we will be doing a class on this very soon about how to use the roll feeder. So I just wanted you to see how I got my design made first, and then I will show you how to cut it on the machine using the roll feeder. Thanks a lot. Have a good evening.